Friday Coffee, and the first question came from my book, The Thriving Solopreneur. I have 4 courses that are built around this book that people have. Here is where you can get it for free. Since you showed up to Open Friday Coffee and you also were kind enough to listen to this video, just go to this link, janinebolon.com/free book, and you will get the electronic book, and you will also be in my online university where you will have a couple of videos and recordings on what I built out for that book. Okay. And so you can get that for free. This is all based on a process that I created called the 4-hour-a-week system. I built this out because I was only able to send cards on Saturday. Now, what does it mean, only able to send cards? Well, I was a part of Send Out Cards. And after the pandemic, I was trying to reach out to all my beautiful people who are in lockdown all over the world. And I started teaching them the system that I use for direct mail. And what was interesting was then I caught on with these other multi-level marketing people. And before I knew it, most of my 2020, 2021, 2022 was spent running around the different groups, helping them understand how you go about using the 4-hour-a-week system to build your business. Now, the question that my student had was, Janine, do you mind going over the 4-hour-a-week system again? And I'd also like to know a little bit more about that master contact sheet that you keep talking about. And so this is what you do to build a business. You spend 4 hours a week working on your business, and then 4 hours a week working inside your business as the technical person that you are. So these are the 4 hours: 1 hour for prospecting, 1 for follow-up, 1 for connecting, 1 for training. Okay, I've talked about this a lot, but the question came from the training aspect. If you are open for business in any way, shape, or form, this means you are required to have cash flow. You want to make sure that not only is that cash flow coming, but that you are profitable. So let's talk about how you build out your business. And number 1, what are you tracking as a measure of your progress? It's very important as an entrepreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur, that you have some sort of thing. They call them KPIs, key performance indicators. And one of the things that you want to make sure of is, what are you using to measure your own success? A lot of entrepreneurs say, well, I use my cash flow. And I'm go, well, you're going to have a rough ride, because early entrepreneurs, before they figure out the systems that are going to work for them, have quite the roller coaster when it comes to their cash flow. So figure out something else. And what I have done that keeps me in a very positive frame of mind, no matter what else is going on in my world, one of my KPIs is, how many addresses have I collected of the people in my world? Who do I already know? And so I highly encourage any business owner to gather addresses and start sending cards to your people. Using direct mail is a great way to stay in touch, but not to sell. What you use it for, and this is one of the things that came from Jeff Bourgeois, he uses his to do little online courses. Instead of it being online, it's like he gives little courses in his cards, because in Send Out Cards, you can have a trifold card, okay? There's a lot of information you can pop in there if you're trying to assist someone, okay? One of my favorite all-time business women is Mary Kay Ash. I learned my basics of business building from her. For every failure, there's an alternative route. When you come to a roadblock, take a detour. And that is that kind of attitude that she had when she started her business in the 70s with only $10,000 and a secret formula for cosmetic cream. And what has happened to her today, I tell you what, absolutely love what this woman has done. So what you do is you take a look at your work week, Sunday or Monday morning, depending upon where you start your work week. And you want to take time, and I've got this down to where I can do this in about 5 minutes to 7 minutes. If it's the brand new year, I usually take a 3-day hiatus and I go off into the mountains and I find a cabin somewhere and I sit with myself and decide what I'm going to do for the year. But each week, I'm always looking at what I decided I wanted to do for the year. And I look at my week and I say, okay, what am I going to do during this week to handle my KPIs and build my business? Please realize your time is your most precious resource. And how you manage that time is what is going to either make or break your success. So what I encourage you to do is start asking for addresses. And if you're not asking people for addresses, I want you to ask yourself why you're not. Why are you not asking people for addresses? Because if you ask for their address and they say, why? By the way, when I've asked for addresses, I say, hi, I'd like your address because I'd like to send you a thank you card because you were with me on Zoom today. and then send them the card. It's very simple. In 2020, when we were in lockdown, this was the card I sent to everybody. Hi, it was lovely seeing you on Zoom. I wish it was under better circumstances, but if we hadn't been in lockdown, I never would have met you because you would have stayed networking in your own little world. Okay, these were the things that I was saying to people. Now, here's some free stuff to help you along. You had it in your course, but you may have forgotten. Here is how to create connection on LinkedIn. This is the way that you do it without selling. Okay, how you go about talking to people on LinkedIn. And you can get that by going to janinebolon.com/LinkedIn. Now, there you will find a $37 course. If you're already on LinkedIn, you feel very comfortable with it, you've done everything you need to, don't take the course. Just watch, I think there's 7 videos on that sheet. Just watch the 7 videos. But if you do decide to take the course, it will teach you how to build out your profile, how to go about contacting people, how to build it well with you. Okay. One of the things I highly recommend when you send cards to people is that you take the time to let them know a little bit about yourself. I had somebody say, Janine, I've known you for almost 20 years. I had no idea that you drew. I'm like, oh yeah, I draw all the time. They're like, I had no idea you were an artist. I'm like, I'm not, I doodle. I'm not an artist. See, I did not self-identify as an artist. I just doodle. I like to draw stuff and doodle. I like to take words and make fun things out of them. And I ended up started sending some of those doodles in my cards to people. And that really made their day. They were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the card. It brightens their day in a way that very little else can, except like picking up the phone and calling them, but it's non-invasive. They can deal with you at their own time and place. And I have people that literally will save up my cards and they read them over a period of time when they're feeling down. They save it up like some people will save up a playlist, for their work. So what are some next steps for you as you go through this course? You can go to the Build Your Business Bootcamp. I know you haven't taken that yet. And so you have that opportunity. You can go to that link, which is janinebolon.com/bootcamp. And that will walk you through the bootcamp that literally handles the 4-hour-a-week system for you. The other thing that I'd like to remind you is that there are huge game changers in our world, such as, remember the days of Blockbuster? Some of you are old enough to remember those, where you go to the store to get your DVD, your CD, whatever, to get play. And then the same thing, remember record stores when you used to get 8-tracks and all that? Now it's iTunes. Borders, Amazon's totally wiped out Borders. And then the other one is send out cards. Did we go to the store? Yeah, maybe if you go to the grocery store or something, but I want you to start seeing cards as a way of monetizing your business, okay? Get back to that 4-hour-a-week system like I've trained you on. Get your calendar out, set the times, and then you start that basic business building. I want you to access all of your current contacts in your phone, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Now, for those of you in Open Friday Coffee that were here last week, how many of you listed out? How many thousands of people do you know? Okay. Currently, I'm at 5,000 something. All right. And that's when I added up Facebook, my contacts in my phone, and LinkedIn. Remember that master contact list. You want to get that CSV file either put in Google, Excel, or Numbers. I don't care what system you're using. You do need to do that. Then start running through that list, emailing people, messaging them, whatever way is easiest, and ask them for their address so that you can send them a thank you card. Or, hey, we're recording this in March. Hey, St. Patrick's Day card. Or, the end of March this year happens to be Easter. So if you feel appropriate, wish them happy spring. Okay. When I first started doing this just to teach people, I had only 285 people in my contact list. As I built out over time, I watched it grow. So this is what I mean by this is my KPI. This is what I do for that KPI. Within 18 months, I had added 420 people to my list. These people are now not just cool leads that are aware of me, they're warm leads. We've had contact, they gave me their address. So open your calendar, schedule your 4 critical hours, access your current contacts, download them on a CSV file, and go through them very methodically. Spend an hour a week asking people for addresses and then send cards. So don't just listen to this video and think you've done the job. I want you to actually define for me when, okay? We will open it up for questions